The funny thing about aging is that no one ever really teaches us how to do it right. When we're young, we learn everything: how to walk, how to talk, how to drive a car. But when it comes to getting older, most people just assume it's something that happens to us, instead of something we can take charge of. But let me tell you something. Aging doesn't have to mean losing control. It doesn't have to mean depending on others for every little thing. In fact, staying independent for life isn't just possible, it's something you can actively work toward every single day, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. 5 simple habits, things you can do right now that will keep you strong, sharp, and in control of your own life, no matter what your age. Now, you might be thinking, oh, it's probably the usual advice. Eat your vegetables, get some exercise, think positive. Well, sure, those things help, but today we're going deeper, because true independence isn't just about your body, it's about your mindset, your daily choices, and the way you live your life every single day. Let's start with something simple: how you start your day. Have you ever noticed that the way you wake up in the morning sets the tone for everything that follows? If you roll out of bed feeling stiff, tired, and sluggish, the rest of the day seems to drag, doesn't it? But what if I told you that one small change in your morning routine could make all the difference in how energetic and independent you feel throughout the day? It's not about doing an hour of yoga or running a marathon. It's about movement, gentle, intentional movement that wakes up your muscles, gets your circulation going, and tells your body, hey, we've got things to do today. You don't need fancy equipment, you don't need a personal trainer. Just a few minutes of stretching, some light balance exercises, even just standing up and sitting down a few times. These simple actions tell your body, I'm still in charge here. Because one of the biggest threats to independence as we age isn't illness, it's inactivity. When we stop moving, we start losing muscle, flexibility, and strength. And that's when things like falls, injuries, and dependence on others start creeping in. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for that first cup of coffee, try this. Stand up tall, stretch your arms up, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I am strong, I am capable, and today I move with purpose. And speaking of purpose, that brings me to something just as important as keeping your body active, keeping your mind active. Because let me tell you, independence isn't just about whether you can carry your groceries or climb the stairs. It's about whether you can make your own decisions, solve problems, and keep your brain sharp enough to stay in control of your life. And the best way to do that? Never stop learning. Now don't worry, I'm not talking about going back to school or memorizing history books. I'm talking about staying curious, about challenging yourself in small ways every day. Think about it. When was the last time you tried something new? I'm not saying you have to take up skydiving unless you want to, of course. But how about a new hobby, a new recipe, a new language, even if it's just a few words? Because the brain works like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the best part? Keeping your mind active doesn't just help with memory and problem solving. It keeps you engaged in life. It gives you things to look forward to. And when you have things to look forward to, you have a reason to stay independent. So here's a little challenge for you this week. Try learning something new. It doesn't matter what it is. Just pick something that sparks your interest and give it a try. Maybe you'll surprise yourself. Maybe you'll discover a hidden talent. Or maybe you'll just have a good laugh at how bad you are at painting. Either way, you're keeping your mind engaged, and that's a win. Now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked, your environment. Because the truth is, independence doesn't just depend on your body or your brain, it also depends on how you set yourself up for success in your daily life. And one of the biggest mistakes people make as they get older is ignoring the small hazards in their own homes. Things that can turn a simple misstep into a serious injury. Think about it. How many times have you tripped over a loose rug, reached, for something on a high shelf, or walk through a dark hallway at night. These small risks might not seem like a big deal until they are. And the scary part? Most accidents happen at home, not outside. The good news? You can do something about it right now. Simple changes like better lighting, grab bars in the bathroom, removing clutter from walkways can mean the difference between staying independent and having to rely on others after a fall. Here's what I want you to do today. Take a walk around your home. Look at it not through the eyes of someone who's lived there for years, but through the eyes of someone who wants to stay there for years to come. Is there anything that could be a danger? Anything that's difficult to reach? Any small changes that could make life just a little easier? Because here's the truth. Taking control of your space is taking control of your independence. And speaking of control, that leads me to something just as important as your physical surroundings, your social connections. Because here's the thing, independence doesn't mean isolation. In fact, the more connected you are, the more independent you can stay. Studies show that seniors who have strong social connections live longer, stay healthier, and are far less likely to experience cognitive decline. But let's be honest, making new friends and staying social isn't always easy, especially as we get older. Life changes, people move away, and sometimes it just feels easier to keep to ourselves. But here's the thing, staying independent doesn't just mean being physically strong. It means having a support system, people you can rely on, laugh with, and share life's ups and downs with. So if you've been feeling a little disconnected lately, I want you to do something about it. Call an old friend, join a local group, say hello to that neighbor you always see but never talk to. Because staying independent for life isn't just about doing everything yourself, it's about making sure you have people in your corner. Now, I know we've covered a lot, but here's what I want you to remember. Independence isn't something you lose overnight. It's something that fades only if you let it. Every single day, with small, intentional choices, you can take charge of your body, your mind, and your life. And trust me, you are stronger, smarter, and more capable than you might think. So tomorrow, when you wake up, stretch a little. Move with purpose. Learn something new. Look around your home and make it safer. And most importantly, stay connected. Because independence isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. And that's something you have the power to do.
If this helped you, let me know in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Your health is in your hands. Start today. See you soon.